Okay, we're up and running. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Training Setup channel. My name is Niku, and today we're doing a live stream on something that gets neglected quite often. We're going to have a look at money management and specifically at the Martingale system. We tend to always look at strategies and look at ways to trade, but money management is just as important as having a good strategy. So today we're going to have a bit of a look at that. Also, if you haven't joined our Telegram channel yet, do so. It's free. There will be a link in the description below this video. We have three trading sessions every day, Monday to Friday, and it's all free. And there's some spreadsheets for money management available as well, and some other goodies. And we also have promo codes available for making deposits where you get a little bonus. So yeah, make sure if you haven't joined the Telegram channel yet, do that. It's absolutely, like I said, it's absolutely 100% free. Hope to see you all there. Okay, so for money management, we're going to be doing looking at the basics of Martingale system, when to use it and when not to use it. It's something that one of the most common mistakes I see is the way that people use Martingale. It is a very effective system, but it has to be used correctly, and a lot of people absolutely use it the wrong way. So we're going to have a look at that today, and we're going to hopefully be doing a few trades, hopefully to demonstrate how we can apply Martingale in real time. So let's head on over to our platform. We've got our platform open, but what I want to actually do first is just have a look at why people like using Martingale. So let's just do this quickly. So I'm going to say, let's suppose I have $100 in my account. Now, if I start trading and I start using money management, suppose for this example, I'm going to use 10% trades. It's just easier to see. So why do we use Martingale? Suppose I have $100 in my account. I'm going to do my first trade today, and the first trade is a loss. Actually, you know what? Let's put it in here. Then we're going to auto sum here. Okay, so my first trade is a loss. And now what people tend to do is, the reason we use Martingale is to recover that loss that we made and also make a profit, all of this in our next trade. Now, if you're trading anything below, let's say 85%, I always use a 2.5 Martingale. But often I'll just use it to X Martingale as well. So suppose I lost my $10. My next Martingale trade should be $20 or $25. We can already see a problem developing here, because if I lose this next one, it's going to be a huge chunk of my capital gone in simply 2 trades. Okay, so let's use a 2X Martingale, and suppose I lose my second trade as well. I've already lost $30 of my balance, so that's 30% loss already on 2 trades using the Martingale system. And again, because it does happen, let's say we lose 4 trades in a row. So I'm going to use 2x, but now I have to use 2x on $20. So that's going to be minus 40. And we can see where this is heading. If I'm trading 10% of my account, I can only do 3 Martingale steps. I won't have enough money left to do a 4th one. All right. Now, suppose we did that first trade and we got a loss there, but we 2x'd our second trade, and I'm going to work on 90% payouts just to make it easier. If I win my second trade, I would have made $18. And we can see now that my second trade was recovered my loss from the previous trade, and it put me in profit as well. So where if I stay on one, if I don't use Martingale, then I would be, my first trade was a loss. Let's say my second trade is a win. I'm only getting 9 back because like I said, we're working on 90% payouts. And then if I lose another one, and so forth and so forth. And if you run on win lose, for example, suppose you have a 50% hit rate. If you're running on a Martingale system, you will just plain trading, you will still be losing money if you're running on a 50% win rate. Whereas if you run a Martingale system and you run 50%, you will see that you will actually still be making money. So Martingale Martingale is very lenient on losses as long as you have a decent win rate still. You do need a decent strategy. It's not something that's going to miraculously save your account, especially if you're doing it wrong. We'll have a look at the right way and the wrong way to do it in a minute. But this is the reason why we use Martingale. Those of you that are in the Telegram channel, you know that I do Martingales as well. I don't like using multiple steps of Martingale. If I lose a trade, I'll double my amount for the next one, and then I'll stay on that amount until I recover. But yes, Martingale is very lenient on losses if you use it correctly. So that's the idea behind Martingale. That's the reason we use it. Because if, like I said, if you don't use Martingale and you just do the same amount every day according to your whatever percentage you are trading, you're going to need two winning trades to put you back in the green, whereas Martingale will just need one after a losing trade. Okay, that's the idea behind Martingale. But like I said, this is a problem. This is something that needs to be taken into account as well. You cannot simply do indefinite Martingale trades. Even if you are doing only 1% trades, it'll be 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. Okay, so even if you do 1% trades, if you're having a bad streak, and those do happen, bad streaks do happen to everybody, you still have the chance of a very good chance of actually just blowing your account in a single run. Okay, so we don't use Martingale irresponsibly. You need to determine what your what's the word I'm looking for? Your tolerance, your loss tolerance is how much you are willing to go for. I do know people that is willing to go their whole account, and I really don't recommend it. But yeah, okay, so let's have a look at the wrong way that people use Martingale first. This is something that I want to switch to demo for this, because I'm going to purposefully try and lose some trades now. And I don't want to mess around or try something like that using my actual account. Now, my demo account doesn't have any indicators on. Let's add those quickly. I did not realize that this... we don't need to put too many stuff on. Let's get, what do I have? I do have a stochastic. Let's get a RSI on there. My apologies. I did not realize that my demo account will not have any indicators on it. Okay. Yeah, this should do. All right. So one of the biggest mistakes I see people make is they will trade on whatever strategy they use, and they will get an entry for a 1 minute buy. So I'm going to Let's look for something that's actually has a decent chance of losing. Okay, let's go with this. So people, you might get an entry for a 1 minute buy. So what people will do is they would take the trade. If they lose that trade, they will immediately double down and take another trade. So suppose this candle, I'm taking a 1 minute trade, and that candle, I took a buy now. So if this candle closes red and I lose this trade, what people often do is they will immediately, for the very next candle, take another 1 minute buy. And this is really not the worst way to use Martingale, because essentially what you're doing is you are wrong about a trade. You were wrong. You got an entry from your strategy, but the trade was wrong. Trade didn't work out. This is what I mean. So let's go 2x with this. So this is what people often do. They lost this trade, and now they'll simply take another buy immediately after, hoping to recover the loss that they just made. And this is a horrible, horrible way to trade. Martingale is not something that you can keep on simply reversing candles, because let's see, it happens so often that we get all these green candles. Suppose I got a sell signal on that candle there. If I kept on martingaling, doing 1 minute trades, I would have lost four positions before before the candle actually went to my favor. So if you are using whatever strategy you're using, if you do want to use a martingale system, it is crucial. I hope this loses. Please lose. Come down, come down, come down. Prove my point for me. It is absolutely crucial that you understand that you cannot simply immediately after you lose a trade take another position on a martingale for the same trade, for the same entry that you got from your strategy, because you're essentially all you're doing is doubling down on a losing trade. Yes, you're going to get lucky sometimes and it's going to work out, but there are going to be, it's a pity I didn't take these on the beginning of the candles, because we're sitting now with all these red candles. If I played these candles from open to close, this would have been the fourth trade that I had to take on a martingale if I used it the wrong way. And there's still no guarantee that this is going to win. So don't double down on a losing trade. It's the absolute worst strategy. It's going to bite you so quickly. What we need to do is, suppose I have my strategy that I'm using right now, say that I am looking for rejections like this. So I'm looking for areas where price comes and tests one of the moving averages that I'm using as a support and resistance zone, and at the same time the RSI bounces off. So the RSI tests the 50 line and then rejects back as well, because the RSI is momentum indicator. In this case, because it came down, tested the 50 line and then turned back upwards, this showed me, where was I? This showed me that bullish momentum decreased and then increased again. So we're maintaining bullish momentum in an upwards move. If that is my strategy and I get a valid entry from my strategy, then I can take my entry. If that trade loses, I will not take a trade immediately again, because I lost it, the entry was wrong, and that's it. What you need to do, if you do want, especially if you do want to use martingale, is wait for the next entry on your strategy to fire, and then only then you double your position size, or 2.5x or whatnot. Rajan Mishra, hi, good day. You're asking me to send signals in my open group on Telegram. I do. We do that every day of the week, 3 sessions. Unfortunately, when one session every week is reserved for this time here, so we ask streaming, and I'm not doing signals. I can't do signals while I'm streaming. It's just my attention is divided, so that's not something that's viable for me to do, unfortunately. But yeah, we'll be back on Monday morning. This is we already had 2 sessions today. They went very well. Then on Monday we'll continue doing the sessions. Right, so unfortunately, yeah, I won't be able to do signals while I'm trading. Although I have to add, next week we will be looking at the stream for next week. We'll look at how to do the signals or how to follow the signals on Telegram. We'll be trading and looking at Telegram at the same time at the channels. But yeah, it's very difficult to concentrate in different ways or in different areas while you're trading. Right, so apologies, but we won't be doing signals during the streams ever. All right. Anyway, so like I was saying, if you do want to do Martingale, stick to your strategy. Take the entry from your strategy, whatever strategy you're using, and once that's done, then we can look at, or once you lose that trade, you wait for the next entry, and then only do you take a Martingale trade. This is the correct way to use Martingale, because you are still sticking to your strategy. You're taking entries from your strategy. Of course, this does mean that you do need to have an existing strategy, and it does need to be a fairly decent strategy as well. But that you need for whether you're using Martingale or not. All right. Let me switch back to my real account. Okay, let's see if we can find some trades. And see if we can find some entries, and hopefully we might get a Martingale trade or two as well. I'm going to go for 5 minutes. So what I usually do when I'm trading is I look at the 5-minute charts to just kind of determine the direction of that price is moving in general. Like for example on NZD here, general direction is upwards. I can see that the MACD is struggling. It's really wanting to close to do a bullish crossover. I can see that the momentum was bearish, although it did switch bullish here. RSI is indecisive about where it wants to go, so this is not something that's going to look it's something that doesn't look too good for me at the moment. We might have a break trade here. So once I determine that there is potential on the 5-minute chart, I start looking at the 1-minute chart, see what those look like, because quite often I'll see something on the 5-minute that looks like price is still going to start moving up. Like if I look at this chart here, it does, we did have the rejection of the 50 line there, so we do have bullish momentum increasing currently. Stochastic is heading for the overbought zone. We do have a potential MACD crossover, and momentum switched bullish already. So quite often I'll look at this, but when I go to a 5-minute chart, in this case now it's not the case, or on this asset it's not the case, but quite often I will see that the RSI is lingering below the 50 line. The stochastic is super low on the 1-minute, and then I'll just leave that asset as well. I like for the 5 and 1 minute to correspond. Both needs to tell me that it looks like we're going to go, it looks like we're continuing our way up or down, whatever the case may be, and then I'll only take the trade. We're hitting some resistance here. We do have a nice spike on the DI plus here. We got some wicks. Let's see what the 1 minute looks like. 1 minute's in the middle of nowhere. It's no telling what this is going to do. Hopefully we'll get some trades. We won't take too long to get some entries. I would like to just show you guys how Martingale works in practice, especially. But money management is something that a lot of people really neglect. And it's crucial. It's just as important as having a decent strategy. Pulling quite a bit, but you do have a support area coming up. Huge bike on that 80 on the DI minus here. Huge bike. But we do have a crossover. RSI tested. So that if I look at this chart, this is the best looking asset I've seen so far. Why is there no momentum on this? So we had price testing the moving averages as acting as resistance, and we had the RSI tested, and it's turning downwards now. So both of them are turning down, and this is clearing as well. This will actually be something where I might be able to take a sell trade for 2 minutes. Also see the Bollinger Bands are opening up quite nicely. We'll see what happens. Let's leave that up there while I just have a look and see if there's something else that's brewing somewhere. This is still red. Okay, halfway through the trade. Just go back to this. Oh, this is not looking too bad either. What's happening here? Okay, so we had the push upwards. Let's see what happens. It should be coming down soon. Looks like it's gonna. We did break the support level here. Stochastic was heading downwards. Okay, I'm definitely losing this. Okay, so here's where we're going to do a Martingale trade. And we're just going to use a 2x. Now, this is the crucial part that I'm not going to take a sell trade here. I was wrong on this, on price pulling heading down. I was wrong about that. And I'm not going to double down on a losing trade. So what I'm going to do is just look for something else. It's that simple. Even though you quite often, like that asset now, for example, as well, what was that Euro trying there? There's a good chance that this is going to pull downwards. So if I did take a sell trade here, it would have been green at the moment if I did a Martingale trade, but that is, that's going to happen, I would say 50% of the time. Sometimes you're going to get lucky, and if you do this, and that's one of the reasons it's really important actually to avoid this, because once you start depending on luck in trading, you're on a downhill path. Luck is a horrible strategy. It is clearing though. Okay, let's have a look. I did mark this one. What happened here? Nope. I'll just start at the top again. Back on Euro try. I'm going to specifically stay off that for now. What's happening here? Yeah, this kind of looks good. Okay, so I got another signal. If I look at the 5 minutes here, price came down, broke through the 50 and 200 moving average, tested there, retest after the break, retest got rejected. RSI stayed above the 50 line. We have a bullish crossover on the MACD forming right now. If I go and look at the 1 minute chart, I can see that the way the Bollinger Band's contracted here, very tightly, and now they're opening up again. Stochastic is busy entering the overbought zone, which is, for me, is good. I will much rather take a buy trade when the stochastic goes into overbought and a sell trade when it goes into oversold. I don't quite understand why people got into the habit of doing reversal trades on that. But be as it may, we had a bullish crossover on the MACD. We can see that the momentum switched bullish, and it's starting to increase again. So this should be a decent trade. I'm pretty sure I did a video on the stochastic before, and I honestly don't understand why I see so many people wanting to do sell when it hits overbought and buy when it hits oversold. And it's a momentum indicator, same as the RSI. The stochastic is a type of momentum indicator. And when the stochastic moves into the overbought zone, it means that there's a ton of bullish momentum behind it at the moment, and it's most likely to continue going up. So yeah, okay, we got that. Now, if I look at my trades that I took, my first one was a loss. I did not double down on my losing trade, and my second trade was a win. So I recovered the 500 that I lost now in the previous trade, and I made 420 profit. So this is the way you need to use Martingale. Whatever strategy you're using, you need to take a trade, and if it loses and you do want to use Martingale, wait for the next entry from your strategy. Don't just click because you took a loss. That's really not the best way of trading, and you will sooner or later, probably sooner than later, but you will wipe your account if you do trades like this. Whether you're trading options, whether you're trading forex, don't simply, just because you lose a trade, double down, because that's guessing. It's just a guess. You don't have an entry. Remember, you're taking a trade specifically because you got an entry from your strategy. You got a clear entry, and your strategy said this is where you should buy. Even if it's just a 1 minute trade, by the time that candle closes, you don't have the entry from your strategy anymore. In that period of time, your entry is in the past. So there's no reason for you to take a trade now. When you take a trade afterwards, you're simply guessing. So whether your entry lost or won, anything after that, if it's not a solid entry from your strategy, you're guessing. And Martingale, it will ruin you if you apply it to guess trading. If you want to take guesses and do a Martingale trade, it's going to end very badly. Take my word for it. Okay, so guys, if anybody has any questions, now's the time. let's get them answered. I will go as far as to say any trading related questions. If there's a question that's burning somewhere, let's get that answered. If not, then yes, we will start enjoying the weekend. We will be back to on Monday morning again. Right now, for those of you from different countries, for me, it is 4:30 in the afternoon at the moment. So this is the time that we usually do our last trading session of the day on Telegram, in the Telegram group. We do at 10 o'clock and 1 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and 4 o'clock, my local time. It's GMT +2. So, yeah, if you're not in the group yet, come join us. Have a look, see what it's like. Like I said, it's 100% free. There is no any hidden fees or any such thing. We just do some trading. I do some signals every day. Like I said, 3 times a day I do signals. I give the signal, I explain why I'm taking it, and that's it. So yeah, if you're not in the group yet, come join us. If not, if you are, I'll see you guys on Monday. Looks like there's no more questions out. So yeah, thank you guys for watching on this stream on Martingale. Please be careful if you do want to use Martingale in your trading, especially if you're one of those guys who want to go 3 or 4 steps with it. It can become very dangerous very quickly. So yeah, please trade responsibly. Okay, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next week for the next stream, and the guys in Telegram, I'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend and enjoy.